Hey, what's up, guys? Jake here, getting back some Stay People Democratic Republic of Korea. We're in the car, we're on our way to Kaesong with Jong, so let's get going. And we're in the car on our way to Kaesong. A won for your thoughts? I don't think that's much of an exchange rate, as I believe the won is worth less than a penny. I haven't checked the rate lately, but I thought it was an English expression. I mean, close enough, I suppose. I wasn't really thinking of anything in particular. May I ask you something? You will ask me no... What? Why is he being so weird? Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Okay, fine. Yeah, let's say that. You best not lie to me. I'll have you know I ranked top of my class at information extraction. Please don't torture me. Calm down, Guantanamo girl. It's just an expression. Is it? I don't think anyone's ever said that in this context, because that's a fucking weird thing to say. I certainly hope so. I do not do well with liars. Your question? Why did you agree to come to Korea? I know we had some nice conversation in our letters, but we had no real hope of you visiting. Well, you know, I figured it might be fun to see a new country, especially one like North Korea. I mean, one thing's for sure, there's not really another country like it, so there's that. I've spent the better part of my past few years between a couple deserts. I thought maybe Korea would be a nice change. Was there any other reason? I mean, considering I thought you and Yoonji were dudes, I figured we'd go out drinking. You had me at drinking, let's go. Maybe play wingman for each other as we tried to score girls. Oh wow, classy. So you admit you wanted to pick up women in Korea? Well, I mean, I did say I'd tell you no lies. Of course I did. Most guys think about going out somewhere and picking up women. It's not really a secret. I just wasn't expecting to get picked up myself. Is it so bad that you're staying with us and you aren't able to go out to the town and find women? No, I mean, of course not. I mean, I wasn't expecting it at all, but I'm having fun. Plus, I don't even have to put any effort into picking up women, since they've already picked me up. Convenient. Are you implying we're trying to pick you up? Yeah, that's exactly what I implied. Huh, I mean, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. You do have a certain appeal, I'll admit, but I'm not sure why. Yeah, I'm not really either. There's not really anything attractive about this guy. Maybe your mere presence is the cause. Like, you came to our country and everything started revolving around you. Maybe. I mean, I do feel like I'm being watched constantly, so there's that. I have no idea what you're talking about. We certainly don't have CCTV working in our humble little home. Of course not. I mean, I didn't mean it like that, but now I'm gonna search my entire room when we get back from this outing. You won't find any candy. Yeah, that's it. Yoonji's the one who hides candy, not me. Maybe we should talk about something else. Something that doesn't make me think I'm being monitored 24/7. Although, I am being monitored 24/7. Make no doubt about that. Well, it certainly can't be 24/7, since we have regular power outages and Yoonji hasn't fixed that generator yet. Huh, good one. So, what is there to do at Kaesong? Kaesong was the capital area of the Korean peninsula, though it was called Songdo during the dynasty periods. There's a lot of tombs to those ancient kings, but you can't reach most of them. There are museums, however, as well as some temples. Due to its location near the occupied Korean territory, it also has a joint light industrial park. Though most of the workers are from true Korea. Wouldn't that be a bit awkward, working with people from over a heavily patrolled border who go back to a different lifestyle? I do not know, but I guess it would seem to make for a very silent working environment. Probably so. Anyway, is there any particular place you think we should go visit? The Old South Gate at Namdaman would be an ideal place to start. It would likely remind you of typical East Asian structures you associate with the region. There's also, oh god, wow. There's also Songyungwan, which houses the Koryo Museum, named for the dynasty it represents. Shoyoungwang? That's a mouthful. Yeah, no fucking kidding, dude. Close enough, though the most interesting thing is likely to be a tour of the city itself. Most of the historic district isn't exactly in, how would you put it, upper tip shape? Close enough, I get it. Close, that's tip-top shape, but a lot of it's run down then, huh? Yeah, with the current needs of the country being focused on more explosive concerns. Preserving older buildings has fallen down the list of priorities. Nevertheless, the trip there will take some time. How should we amuse ourselves? Well, I mean, I guess we could play some sort of travel game, like I Spy or something. Wow, really creative. Yeah, let's play I Spy. Are you admitting to being a spy? I should have you taken to the military police at once. What? No, what? No, I'm not a spy. The game is called I Spy. You pick an object and say, I spy with my little eye something, and you give a hint, usually a color. Are you making fun of my eyes now? My eyes are hardly little. Yeah, you fucking tell him, Jong. Don't take any of his bullshit. I can see how you and Yoonji are related. Look, it's just an expression in the game is all. There's nothing malicious about it. Maybe not. Okay, I'll go first. I spy with my little eye something black. The car? No, not the car. The fragments of pavement you pass off as road? No, and it'll be fixed in the future. Something black, something black. The driver's hair? Hey, Jung, was I right? Oh. Looks like something black was the back of her eyelids, or the darkness they produce. Guess she was still tired, or maybe car rides do that to her. Really? She fell asleep? Is this how every car ride's gonna go? Man, I remember good old Private Daly. 5 minutes into a ride and he'd be out cold. Of course, we always made sure to mark him up with a black marker. The extra laps were worth the look on his face when the Sarge would get to him in rank. The road may suck ass, but the view isn't so bad once you get out of civilization and into the woods. Just hope the car doesn't break down, because I highly doubt there are any repair shops out here. That's one thing I miss about the US. You couldn't walk 5 feet without tripping over a gas station or a mechanic. Out here, if we broke down, I think the only thing we'd see would be bears. Or maybe Korean army members hunting bears, or hunting tourists to feed to bears. Glorious leader, invented karate, martial arts. You know what? I'm sure he did. Good shit. I think the only exercise the glorious leader gets is the 15 feet he has to walk down the buffet table. Heyo, fucking got him. Take that, Kim Jong-un. The glorious leader prefers family-style meals. Please stop reading my thought boxes, or I'll be forced to think of things you might not want to see. Why would you say the creepiest thing imaginable? Already know your favorite things. Yes, they're real. If I let you use my lap as a pillow, will you go back to sleep and stop reading my thoughts? Deal. Jung puts her head in my lap and I gently stroke her hair. It's really silky. I have to admit, it's nice to be the one being pursued instead of chasing the girls for once. With Jung asleep, there's not much else to do. I'm not tired, so I don't really want to go to sleep, but I don't want to wake up Jung by playing the radio. And the scenery out the window is pretty, but also not that varied. That leaves one option. How long have you been the driver for the two ladies? Sorry, dude, just trying to make conversation. Jung's asleep and you're the only other person in the car. Good shit, good stuff. I see, the strong silent type. I can respect that. Well, this has been a good talk, I'll be here if you need me, dude. That didn't exactly pass much time. I suppose I could sleep, but that seems to be such a cheap way of passing time. Like an easy out for a lazy visual novel writer. Screw it, this scene is long enough, I'm going to sleep. Dope. Cool, good shit. Wake up, we're here! Well, that was kind of refreshing. Though I think my legs fell asleep. Your lap was passably comfortable. I may require the use of it again for the ride home. You have a funny way of asking to sleep on my lap again. I wasn't asking. I surrender? Yay! Now on to Kaesong. Oh wow, this actually looks pretty nice. We step out of the car and I'm immediately greeted by a large wooden gate. It's actually pretty massive, and towers over all the other things nearby. I had the driver take us to the Kaesong Namdonum. which is the south gate to the old walled city of Kaesong, and the only citadel gate to have survived to the present day. It's really well preserved for being centuries old. I'm impressed. While the base is original, the wooden pavilion is not. The original was destroyed by a certain capitalist country in 1950 during one of its illegal bombing missions. Well, let's not name names, I suppose. The construction you see before you is a replication finished in 1954. I now feel both awed and guilty, since I'm pretty certain you all but said the United States destroyed it. Do you know of any other certain capitalist countries? Sure, I mean England, Japan, France, Germany, Canada. Wait, no. Canada's basically the snow socialist. Anyway, tell me more about the gate. The gate houses the Yongbok Bell, which was brought over after it was reclaimed from the ashes of the Yongbok Temple in the fire of 1563. It used to chime out the hours into the 20th century. Well, I mean, that's pretty cool. Does anybody ring it now? Like maybe you make a wish and ring it to have it come true? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Where do you come up with silly ideas like that? I think I read about it in a visual novel somewhere. A really familiar visual novel. Anyway, I thought you might enjoy seeing that first. What would you like to see next? I mean, any suggestions? I'm a tourist. I don't know shit about shit, dude. Well, there's the Ashram Buddhist Temple, as well as the Koryo Museum. Would either of those be okay for you? Oh god, I have to make a choice. What do I do? Let's go to the museum. Yeah, I love museums. Well, I did tell Yoonji I like museums, so let's head to the Koryo Museum. I'll take you there, though I should let you know ahead of time that we haven't had much of a chance to renovate the museum. It's in pretty rough shape. If it makes you feel better, I can say it adds to the rustic charm. You don't need to go that far, just make sure to keep comments about the condition of the place to a minimum. I usually find it smart to take a woman's advice when she tells me to shut up. Except when it's Yoonji. Especially when it's Yoonji. The way you two bicker like an old married couple is already cute. You make a great pair. Are you trying to hook me up with your sister? Well, I mean, maybe just a little. What about you then? You seem pretty happy to be with me. You don't think, maybe we'd make a good pair? I can't deny that we get along really well together, but maybe Yoonji suits you better? Wow, okay. That was the softest rejection I've ever had. I can't really say. I feel like I've gotten along well with both of you so far, except for all the fighting with Yoonji, I guess. That is true. Yes, well, anyway, let's head to the Koryo... That is true. Yes, well, anyway, let's head to the Koryo Museum now. Neat. After the typical whirlwind walk with Jong guiding me hand in hand, we arrive at an area with several dilapidated wooden, pagoda-like buildings. This really doesn't look like a museum, more like an abandoned ancient building collection. Worse and worse. I'm sorry, I didn't quite make out what you said, Jong? I apologize. I was talking to myself about the state of this place. I hope the rumors that restoration work had been done were true, but clearly they were just rumors. I guess you're right. If these are renovated buildings, I'd hate to see these workers build new ones. Please watch what you say about the workers of Korea, though I am angered at the lack of care for our heritage. The Songyuan was the highest level facility for Confucian study during the Koryo and Chosun dynasties. These buildings are the renovated ones from the early 1600s, after a fire destroyed the originals. They hosted many young men of the aristocracy, preparing them for civil service in our country. I get what you're saying. The area has a rich history for your country's identity, and saddens you to see it in such a state of disrepair. Am I correct? Yes, unlike most people, I take pride in our long heritage, and not just the modern Juche dynasty. It saddens me that this is passed off as a museum. We can't even keep many displays, because the buildings are ill-suited for preserving artifacts. I mean, on the plus side, the gardens seem well maintained, and there isn't any of the typical modern propaganda hanging around. I am unsure of what you mean by propaganda. I mean, let's just say that back in the United States, we get pretty damn sick of seeing political signs and slogans all over the place. Oh, you mean the posters of Glorious Leader and the Workers' Party? No, I don't tire of seeing them. Though they would be quite out of place in this location, admittedly. Oh my god, why? I can't focus. I'm dying. I've also got a bunch of shit in my throat. Anyway, want to stroll around the gardens a bit? The buildings don't appear to offer much, but this does seem like a peaceful place. Certainly! As we stroll, a light breeze picks up. It feels refreshing, and also whips up a few petals. Looking in the direction of the wind, many shrubs are in bloom. Jong smiles as she walks over. This is one of my favorite parts of this stop. Very pretty flowers. They go nicely with the pretty girl. You flatter me, but I can't help but smile. These are mungin, or Seven Mongolias, the national flower of Korea. Not Mongolias, magnolias. One's like, they're completely different things. One's a flower and one's like a group of people. Whatever, fuck it. They typically bloom in early summer and last until early fall. I'm surprised. I would have figured the national flower would have been one named after the original leader. I mean, we do have a flower named for him. You would classify it as an orchid. There's also a begonia named after his son. We don't have a flower for glorious leader yet. I wonder what he would choose. I bite my tongue to make sure I don't say ragweed or something else that would get me killed. And corpse flower is right out. You know, I'm not sure, but I imagine he'll get one eventually. You are right. A strong man such as our glorious leader deserves a strong flora that makes us think of him. I mean, if you say so, dude. I'd rather not think about glorious leader, and instead stare at Jung surrounded by magnolias for a few more minutes. I mean, I'd like that too, but instead we get her standing in front of a building. Fucking whatever, I guess. Soon, she turns back to me. While standing in the gardens, I see something that appears a tad out of place for having such a nice amount of foliage growth. Off to the side is an old tree stump, along with what appears to be a memorial plaque. I walk over and attempt to read the plaque. To make sure I get the translation right, I call Jong over. Hey, Jong, according to this plaque, this tree stump is some sort of memorial in opposition to American aggression against the DPRK. Yes, this is the stump from the Korean Massacre of 1976. A group of occupied Korean Service Corps workers, under the guise of 2 American officers, and a regiment of UN command guards entered the nearby conflict zone. They had entered there to remove a sacred popular tree without the consent of beloved leader. When politely asked to stop, the lead American officer shouted, "Kill the bastards!" and UN attempted to attack our forces. But our general, victorious champion Pak Chul, dispatched our men to save the day. As we were there peacefully, our soldiers were only able to use the axes the cowardly service workers dropped in their haste to save their own pathetic skins. So, if your side was successful in preventing the destruction of the poplar tree, why is it just a stump here in Kaesong now? And why do you call it the Korean Massacre if you were successful? Wouldn't that indicate the UN and Americans slaughtered a bunch of Koreans? It doesn't really make any sense. While we were successful that day, the Americans used their secret weapon 3 days later. A large convoy of American and occupied Korean military vehicles, under the guidance of the legendary American terrorist General Paul Bunyan. What? Okay, sure, whatever. Invaded the conflict zone again! General Bunyan was able to marshal all the American Pacific forces, as well as bring in outside help from the evil Nippon, and completed the massacre of the poplar tree, leaving only the stump. The Americans took the rest of the tree with them. Its fate remains unknown to this day. You know, that raises a lot more questions than it answers. How so? I didn't realize you had taken up an interest in Korean military victories. Victory. Right, we can use that term. Anyway, I remember Gunyan mentioned meeting a prestigious general years ago, who held a certain swagger stick that had been handed down a couple times. Swagger stick? What is that? Some sort of specialized weapon? I mean, not really, unless a general goes for the Pat Midnight Special option in it. I don't know what that means at all, but sure. It's basically an accessory that looks cool, and usually has some sort of background to it. Then this swagging stick has some sort of meaning? Yeah, Gunyan met with General James Mattis at some Pentagon function years back. They got to drinking a bit, and after a while, the Mad Dog took Gunny and some other guys to see his collection of military memorabilia. Mad Dog? Term of endearment for the best damn American currently alive on the planet. Anyway, he showed Gunny a swagger stick made of wood, and said he got it from the guy who got it from General Lewis Mentry, who got it from the original owner, General William Livesey. So they all had a turn with General Livesey's wood? Exactly, could not have said it better myself. Phrasing, but I mean basically he said the stick was made memorial of 2 officers, who were ruthlessly slaughtered by the Koreans in 1976 over the trimming of a tree. That's not how it happened. Maybe, maybe not. I'm sure all countries involved had their own side of the story. Anyway, it's probably safe to assume that stick resting in a glass case is the remains of your poplar tree. Our sacred tree, a trophy of our greatest international enemy. Why? Maybe I shouldn't go with the classic flippant line of, "To the victors go the spoils" here. I mean, it's not so unusual. Militaries throughout history are well known for taking back trophies of victories. It could be worse. At least we've all pretty much moved on from taking scalps. Enough depressing war talk and history lessons. This is supposed to be a comedy game. Anyway, I'm feeling kind of hungry after going through the gardens. Want to go back to the Kaesong Kosu house and share a meal? Oh, Jung, how forward. I mean, sounds like a good idea to me. Alright, before we get into this delicious meal, no doubt it'll be delicious and not just more kimchi with rice, I'm going to draw this episode to a close. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next week for even more Stay, People Democrats, People Republic of Korea with yours truly. I'll see you guys then.